Waynesburg University students are voting for a new president for Student Senate with voting underway.
And one U.S. soldier is left looking through mud and debris for his missing child. Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us on Channel 14 News this evening. I'm Brendan Keeney.
And I'm Brooke Larson. Elections for Waynesburg University Student Senate began this week, and a meeting was held Tuesday to discuss their plans for the future. Channel 14's Anthony Kahn has the details.
Waynesburg Student Senate has come a long way in the past year. A new amendment was passed, and new members were sworn in. Now there's an election for executive board positions. Led by Senior Executive Vice President John Flanagan, Tuesday's meeting emphasized the upcoming election. Presidential candidate Josh Daines sees potential for Student Senate.
We need to be the full embodiment of the university. So as far as being the faith, learning, and service students of the university, we need to be those people pushing forth the mission, the people out there serving, the people out there worshiping, and the people most definitely learning as much as they can in class.
Presidential candidate Parker Cantos believes that Waynesburg's Student Senate can have an even better working relationship with clubs and organizations. He says the Senate overall can be used as a tool to improve Waynesburg University and the surrounding community. If used for its purpose, the Senate could be one of the most influential bodies on campus. Student Senate members are competing for other executive positions as well. Students can vote for their classmates using the Student Senate election tab in MyConnect. Results of the voting will be announced next week. For Channel 14 News, I'm Anthony Kahn.
4 people were injured in a 3-vehicle crash that occurred around 6 p.m. Sunday on Pine Street in Jefferson Borough. One of the injured victims is listed in critical condition in the hospital. This person was flown by helicopter following the crash. The collision involved 2 pickup trucks and a car. The car ended up on its side against a telephone pole. The cause of the crash is still unknown, and no charges have been made.
2 men were arrested Tuesday by state police and charged with armed robbery of the BFS truck stop in Mountain Morris. Cheyenne Strauss-Snyder and Travis Charles Lee Shoup were arraigned before the district court on charges of conspiracy to commit robbery, theft, and simple assault. According to a complaint filed by a state trooper, Strauss-Snyder approached the truck stop clerk, held up a knife, and demanded money. He then fled away with $345 in a car driven by Shoup. Shoup was arrested and placed in Greene County Jail on a $10,000 bond. Strauss-Snyder is jailed on a $20,000 bond. Preliminary hearings are scheduled for April 10th.
3 Washington Park Elementary School students face serious discipline in separate incidents. 2 students brought BB guns into school, and another threatened a girl with a knife on the bus. Nobody was injured through the incidents, but authorities are still concerned. A school bus driver took possession of a knife from an 11-year-old boy after he threatened to cut a girl while riding to school. He faces a charge of possessing a weapon on school property. Hours later, a 7-year-old boy was found with an airsoft pistol in the waist of his pants. He will not be charged because of his age. However, another 11-year-old student faces a charge of possession of a weapon after an airsoft pistol was found in his backpack. On top of the legal charges that 2 of the students face, all 3 students face severe disciplinary action from the school.
Up next, we'll take a look at this week's top national stories, including one soldier who is left searching for his son.
The library cat found her love for books at the Bowlby Library. Bowlby Library, located off of West Street in Waynesburg, Pennsylvania, is a free public library that offers different services to the residents of Greene County. The library includes both a children's department as well as an adult section. The family literacy department offers different tutoring opportunities as well as computer classes. For more information about library services, please visit www.evakbowlby.org.
Day after day, a soldier is wading through the mud and debris left by a landslide in Washington state, searching for his missing 13-year-old son. The teenager was at home on March 22nd when the landslide hit. Tina Patel spoke to the teen's father.
Staff Sergeant Jose Manuel has been in war zones, but he says he still wasn't prepared when he saw the devastation of the Oso mudslide.
From the 5 deployments that I've been on, nothing compares to this.
The mud and debris are 70 feet deep in some places, but Manuel is wading through it because his 13-year-old son Jojo is still somewhere in this mess.
I want to be there. I want to find my son. I wouldn't do it any other way.
Jojo was at home with his stepfather and siblings when the mudslide hit. A chopper crew spotted his 4-year-old brother Jacob and was able to pull him to safety.
I have no bad feelings just because he got to get rescued and my son's still missing. Nothing at all. So, I'm happy that he's back with his mom.
He says he's spent time with Jacob over the last week, and he's a tough little boy. He'll have to be when he realizes he's lost a big part of his family.
He's too young. He doesn't understand. So, I just hope that in the future he's able to overcome because it's a lot to take.
It's a lot to take for Jose. He says it's helped seeing how loved Jojo was by his friends and football teammates at school. It's given him the motivation to keep showing up at the search site day after day.
It hasn't been easy, but just have my faith in God and keep on pushing, pressing on. I still got faith, so I know I'm going to find him, and that's pretty much all I'm focused on.
Jojo's mother was out shopping and survived. The body of his 5-year-old stepsister, Kaylee, has been recovered. His 2-year-old stepsister, Brooke, and his stepdad, Billy Spillers, are still missing.
For weeks now, we've heard about the high-tech devices that are being used in the search for Flight 370. And what many are wondering is, if we have all this extraordinary technology, why isn't there more accurate information thus far into the search? CNN's Gary Tuckman has more.
This is the launch of a satellite which captures high-resolution and high-definition images. A satellite that has nothing to do with any government.
We need a no-go time for the nadir point.
It was launched a few months ago by a Silicon Valley startup for its private clients, but it's also being used to help look for wreckage of Malaysia Airlines Flight 370.
Wherever possible, we've tried to use the images that we're collecting to help people around the world.
This is mission control at Skybox Images in California's Silicon Valley, where 15 times a day,
Okay, we have radio signal. We are downlinking images.
employees check on the health of the satellite and download pictures and video, including images from the Indian Ocean. Skybox shares its findings like this large white spot in the middle of the search area. But could this be part of the plane? Certainly other pictures are not the least bit ambiguous. For example, during the demonstrations in Ukraine, in Kiev.
Hey, here's the smoke here.
Right,
Yeah.
related to some of the fires.
And that's
that they were
amazing. Keep in mind,
having.
this satellite is so far in the sky,
Right.
and you're seeing the smoke as clear as a
Right,
bell.
2 million feet away.
And in other countries, like Saudi Arabia.
This shows the port of Jeddah in Saudi Arabia. And you're able to see individual shipping containers sitting in the storage facilities of this port.
And at the Khartoum airport in Sudan.
You could zoom in this closely to see the types of planes, how many planes. You could do this at any airport, anywhere in the world. You zoom so close, you can see that it says here runway 12. And runway 12 goes to the southeast. So you can tell even which direction this is going just by looking at this picture.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what the 12 means. It's going 120 degrees.
But this company can't tell if this white spot is airplane wreckage in the Indian Ocean. So why such uncertainty if you can actually see numbers and words on the ground and other pictures taken from space?
It's absolutely easier to see that something is a car in a parking lot on land and to be able to determine that with high confidence than to be able to determine that something is a piece of an airplane or another type of debris field in the ocean.
And it's because it's water, there's nothing else there. There are clouds and there are waves.
Absolutely.
This is the so-called clean room here at this company where the satellites are assembled. We have to wear these clothes because no dirt or germs can come anywhere near these satellites. This is the satellite project manager. This is Kelly Elwood doing some work right here. They have to be so clean here, a camera can't even come inside here, so the camera and the cameraman are outside this room right now. But this particular satellite, the company's second, is expected to be launched this June.
More satellites mean more business for this company. But Skybox also plans to keep taking images of emergency and political hotspots on its own dime.
We find that these imaging satellites are a tremendous source of transparency to help humanity on a daily basis.
And as part of that, the company will continue looking for plane wreckage in the Indian Ocean. Gary Tuckman, CNN, Mountain View, California.
In southwest Florida, detectives want to find the person who hid small cameras inside a Fort Myers beach home. A family of 15 from Indiana says they feel extremely violated after finding tiny hidden cameras in private rooms throughout their Fort Myers beach rental home. According to an incident report obtained by Wink, a family member noticed a bathroom clock radio wasn't working, so he took it apart and found a camera where the speaker should have been, along with a 16-gig memory card, possibly recording their every move. After searching the entire house, deputies discovered that 4 more clocks that may have cameras in bedrooms and bathrooms. The family told investigators a man who apparently maintained the home oddly visited multiple times during their stay to check appliances and other systems. Local defense attorney Scott Morey says cameras outside a rental home are legal, but when they're inside, everything changes.
2 children are dead after police say their mother drove drunk and crashed. Firefighters worked to treat 1 child, one of the 2 that survived. 2 others did not. Police say the driver, their mother, Crystal Saniga, was drunk. Those are tough things for middle school students to understand, but after class Monday, a large group came to the spot where their friends were lost to remember brothers. Friends said the boys were social and happy and could often be found playing at their grandmother's house. The family was at their grandmother's the night of the crash. Court documents show Saniga's blood alcohol content was twice the legal limit when she got in the car with her 4 children and started speeding. Records show Saniga's 2 surviving children, whose names we've blurred, were yelling at Saniga to slow down before the car crashed. Police said Saniga admitted to drinking 5 mojitos that night. It's hard for neighbors and children to accept that those likely cost the lives of 2 of her kids.
Pittsburgh will soon see some construction on the roads. We'll find out more coming up next.
Greene County is made of rural communities built on traditional values. The Community Foundation of Greene County is a stronghold to those who call Greene County their home. Located on High Street in Waynesburg, Pennsylvania, the foundation gives back to the Greene County community. The donors are the heart and soul of this organization. The foundation strives to preserve the community and leave legacies for future generations. For more information about donations and how to get involved, please contact the foundation at 724-627-2010.
Pittsburgh streets are underway with construction on potholes, but with only 30 miles of paving in the budget citywide, will it even make a dent in the problem? Mayor Bill Peduto understands the reality of the situation, but with already borrowing $7 million for the budget, he doesn't want to borrow anymore. Public Works Director Mike Gamble believes that the 30 miles won't even scratch the surface and says that they need closer to 80 to 100 miles paved. Peduto believes that it is not simply a matter of cutting other programs and shifting funds, but a matter of changing a system that has no management system to one that has a 10-year plan. The streets to be paved will be first the ones in the most need and construction with the most heavily traveled on.
22 Pittsburgh area schools have teamed together to form the Girls of Steel, a team made up of 49 girls who competed in the first ever robotic competition. Senior Lynn Yerbina says that if she was not on the team, she wouldn't have known she liked mechanical engineering. She now knows that she wants to go to college for exactly that. George Cantor, who is the Girls of Steel mentor, says that the idea of forming this team was to create an opportunity where girls have a safe space to get their hands on these kinds of tools and ultimately go on to careers in those fields. There were a total of 48 teams competing. Only 8 will go on to the final round, and the Girls of Steel finished in 6th.
A brush fire reportedly spread to a home in Beaver County earlier this week. At least 8 fire departments were called to the scene in Beaver Falls, according to emergency dispatchers. The home is located in the area of the 300 block of Park Avenue, and no injuries were reported.
A McCandless mother is facing charges of aggravated assault, attempted homicide, recklessly endangering another person, tampering with evidence, and 2 counts of endangering the welfare of a child. Laurel Schlemmer tried drowning her children in a bathtub earlier this week. Schlemmer told police that crazy voices told her to push the boys, ages 3 and 6, under the water. At one point, she reportedly sat on them. After the boys were unresponsive, she pulled them out and called 911. Schlemmer told police she thought she could be a better mother to her 7-year-old son if the other 2 were not around. The children were taken to UPMC Passavant Hospital. Luke Schlemmer, age 3, died at the hospital. Older brother Daniel was brought to Children's Hospital, where he continues to fight for his life.
Coming up after the break, Austin Anderson will have your business report. Stay tuned.
All right, you ready for some baseball trivia?
Let's do it.
What year produced the most no-hit games in the big leagues?
7 no-hitters in 1990.
Wow, that's right. Now a question that's not trivial. How many children will witness bullying this year?
Huh.
The answer? 3 out of 4.
75%?
That's
Wow.
right. How many of them will say something?
Kids want to help, but don't know how. Teach them how to stop bullying and be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov.
It's that time of year for taxes to be submitted. Can you let us know how much more time we have?
Well, Brendan, time is running out. You should fill out your form as soon as possible. 3 days are remaining before the American tax deadline. Karen Kaifa has the details on how to avoid common mistakes.
In the final days before the federal income tax filing deadline, things can get stressful. The IRS sees some of the same costly mistakes each year, so taxpayers should take a moment to review them and avoid them. According to Kiplinger's Personal Finance, taxpayers should choose wisely among the options for filing status. Filing as single instead of head of household makes a difference. So can choosing between married filing jointly or married filing separately. Using the wrong status could result in a return being rejected or a delayed refund. Math errors should be less common now that so many Americans use tax preparation software. But if a math mistake means you underpay the IRS, you'll owe the additional amount plus any interest since the due date for that return. Speaking of interest, it starts to pile up after the April 15th deadline, whether an extension is filed or not. If you're not ready to file and think you're going to owe money, at least file the appropriate paperwork and try to estimate what you owe. And finally, too much withholding is a mistake too. It's great to get a big refund in the spring, but wouldn't it be better to have a little extra money in your paycheck throughout the year? To adjust withholding going forward, revise and submit a new W-4 form to your employer. For Consumer Watch, I'm Karen Kaifa.
We all know that Visa is a very successful credit card company and that Walmart is a very successful store. But sometimes there's drama behind the scenes. A lawsuit came to fruition about banks working with Visa to eliminate processing fees so that customers would pay less. Walmart feels that they are entitled to $5 billion that they have lost through the apparent conspiracy with Visa. Walmart claims that an additional $10 million is due because of the damages. This isn't the first time that Walmart has seen issues of this sort. MasterCard and other groups of stores, which includes Walmart, who agreed to a $7 billion deal. Two of the world's most successful fast food chains are in a breakfast battle. For another week, McDonald's is giving away free small cups of coffee to try to combat the new breakfast menu being served at Taco Bell. CNN believes that instead of helping McDonald's, the free coffee may end up hurting their profit. Taco Bell launched their campaign with a direct reference to McDonald's by locating many males with the name of Ronald McDonald across America and having them taste and approve their new breakfast menu. Of course, Ronald McDonald is the name of the mascot at McDonald's. A few weeks ago, it was reported on Live at 5 that a recall was needed for many General Motors vehicles with an ignition switch problem. You can now add 824,000 more vehicles to that list. 1.4 million Chevy Cobalts and HHRs, Saturn Ion, and Sky, and Pontiac G5 and Solstices made from 2007 and before were recalled last time around, due to the fact that GM could have switched good switches with bad ones during repairs. The company decided to recall all of those vehicles made before 2007, and now the new ones from 2008 as well as 2011 as well. For your Channel 14 Business, I'm Austin Anderson. Your Jacket Sports Update with Matt Cole starts right after this.
Matt, our Waynesburg baseball team played pretty well this past Tuesday.
Yeah, the baseball team has hit a little bit of a groove here early in the year. When they've been able to hit the field, there's been a lot of rainouts here early in the season. The Waynesburg University baseball team played under sunny and warm conditions on Tuesday for a doubleheader against Teal College, and they took care of business. The Jackets continued their strong start to the PAC portion of their early schedule with a sweep of the Tomcats by the final scores of 7-2 and 4-3. In Game 1, Waynesburg got out to a 2-0 lead in the first after freshman shortstop Nathan Morey hit into a fielder's choice that allowed freshman DH Jonathan Colletsley to score, followed by a sac fly from senior catcher Mark Timmons, scoring Morey from third. In the bottom of the fourth, the Jackets loaded the bases with no outs and plated 2 more runs with 2 more sacrifice flies from sophomore right fielder Eric Crum and junior left fielder Ben Shorthouse. Already up 5-1 in the sixth, Colletsley finished off the scoring and effectively finished off the Tomcats in Game 1 as he hit an opposite field home run to give Waynesburg its 7-1 lead that it would eventually win Game 1 with. Sophomore starting pitcher Brian Resnick had his third complete game of the season on 101 pitches, allowing just 2 runs on 9 hits with 2 walks and 2 strikeouts. And in Game 2 of the doubleheader, Teal came out and grabbed a 2-run lead in the first inning and held that lead until the bottom of the third when a double by Eric Crum, followed by another double from freshman infielder Luke Carter, tied the game up at 2. A wild pitch, a run-producing error, and yet another Crum double scored 2 more Waynesburg runs 2 innings later, and the Jackets would pull out the 4-3 win. The Jackets will look to keep it rolling tomorrow when they host PAC foe Geneva in a 9-inning contest. Unfortunately, Mother Nature was not so kind to the Waynesburg University softball team as it had yet another change to its schedule this week. The Lady Jackets have already had several games canceled due to inclement weather on the young season, including a doubleheader against Thomas More that was scheduled for yesterday. The games have now been moved to Sunday with first pitch at 1 p.m. from Waynesburg, but before that, the Jackets will be in action on Saturday when they head to Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania to play 2 7-inning contests against Geneva. Waynesburg will look to get on track this weekend as its record stands at 3-11 overall and 0-2 in the conference through the first 14 games of the year. And both the men's and women's track teams were in Pittsburgh over the weekend, participating in the Carnegie Mellon Mini Invite. On the women's side, the Jackets placed 5th out of the 5 teams, highlighted by senior thrower Megan Sowers, adding another first-place finish to her impressive collegiate career in the javelin throw. Senior Rebecca Rapp also finished 2nd in the discus throw. And for the men, they placed 5th out of 6 teams, highlighted by sophomore Zach DiCarlo, who helped pile up 26 team points as both an individual competitor and a team runner. And adding Waynesburg wins were junior Lorenzo McCollin winning the 400-meter run and junior Byram Luco winning the 400-meter hurdles. Juniors Jason Probst and Travis Schubert also won the high jump and the javelin respectively, and both track teams will travel to take on Bethany on Saturday. Another spring sport teed off this week, literally, as the Waynesburg men's golf team started the spring portion of its season over the weekend. The Yellow Jackets finished the day in 5th out of 6 teams with a 4-man score of 358. Junior Tyler Tracy finished tied for 16th with a 14-over score of 86, followed closely by junior Ryan Cernick with a 20th place score of 88. Sophomore Josh Henning and junior Tyler Miller carded identical 23rd place scores of 92. The Jackets hit the links again tomorrow in the McBride-Behringer-Allen tournament hosted by Grove City. And finally, congratulations to our Waynesburg athletes of the week, senior lacrosse player Toria Shepard and junior baseball player Ben Shorthouse. Shepard piled up 6 goals and 2 assists in 2 matches this past week, which were tops amongst all Yellow Jackets. The lacrosse team nearly made program history with a 3rd straight win before falling to Capital University on Friday. Shorthouse led Waynesburg's offensive charge by going 4 for 5 with a walk, a 2-run homer, 5 runs scored, and 3 RBIs in the team's 16-10 victory over St. Vincent last Friday to open up PAC action. Shorthouse currently leads the Jackets in runs scored this season with 14. Congratulations again to both athletes. I'm Matt Cole, and that's sports. Up next, Ryan Schwertfeger has the latest headlines in this week's Yellow Jacket.
A full life, measured in seats, starts with the right ones early on. Car crashes are the #1 killer of children 1 through 13. Learn how to prevent deaths and injuries by using the right car seat for your child's age and size.
As Relay for Life approaches, the campus radio station is fundraising. Can you tell us how they are doing so, Ryan?
I certainly can, Brendan. It's a popular radio method when it comes to fundraising. A new issue of the Yellow Jacket hit stands today, and here's a preview of what you'll find in this week's newspaper. WCYJ-FM, Waynesburg's campus radio station, is holding their 5th annual 24-hour broadcast in order to raise money for cancer research. The continuous broadcast started at 3 p.m. today and will end tomorrow afternoon. The general manager and the assistant general manager are currently on the air and plan on staying awake throughout the broadcast. So after watching live at 5, please tune your radio dials to 99.5 FM to listen in and then make a donation to support cancer research. Waynesburg University's provost, Jacqueline Kaur, has announced that there will be a fall break next school year. The break, that will be from October 11th to October 19th, is meant to allow students to recharge and take a rest, as currently no break exists between the start of the school year and Thanksgiving break. Yet with these changes, Kaur says students will still be on campus 1 week longer for the fall semester. In addition, the spring semester will end 1 week earlier next school year, with finals week planned for April 27th through May 1st, with commencement scheduled for May 3rd. The Beatles made a movie called Magical Mystery Tour, in which the passengers on a bus embarked on a trip with no fixed or known destination. But students now have an opportunity to take a mystery trip themselves, without the 60s influence, of course. On Sunday, students who pay $5 will have the opportunity to go on a mystery bus tour to a surprise location. The only hint that students have been told is, treat yourself to something nice, you deserve it. The event used to be done quite often in the past, but has not occurred as often in recent years because of the difficulty finding places that are open on Sundays. So although the trip destination is still unknown, organizers say they have some trick up their sleeves, and they are sure that those who come along will enjoy the trip. On Wednesday, Waynesburg University will welcome Charles and Kathleen Abernathy to the Goodwin Performing Arts Center. Invited by the Stover Center for Constitutional Studies and Moral Leadership, Mr. Abernathy will discuss his experience and his knowledge as a professor of law at Georgetown University, while his wife will detail what her job was like as a Federal Communications Commissioner. The event will start at 7:30 and it is free to students. You'll find these stories and more in this week's Yellow Jacket newspaper that hit stands today. To view the publication online, visit the Yellow Jacket website at www.theyellowjacket.org. Reporting for the Yellow Jacket newspaper, I'm Ryan Schwertfeger. Now here's a look at this week's forecast with JD Leidick.
The warm weather has arrived, but has brought with it an abundance of rain. Thunderstorms are set to hit our area later today. I'll let you know when those storms could hit, along with full weather details and a full 5-day forecast. All this and more coming up in just a few minutes. Stay tuned.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 110. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
Currently at 62 degrees here in Waynesburg. Today we will see rain throughout the day with a high of 64. Tonight the low will be around 54 with more rain moving into the area. Now taking a look at the 5-day forecast. Friday, thunderstorms will hit our area with a high of 68. Chance of rain, 80%. The low during the evening will dip to 40 degrees. Taking a look at the weekend plans, Saturday will be partly cloudy with a high of 49 and 16-mile-an-hour winds. The low at night will drop to 29. Sunday, the temperatures will warm back up to 57 with partly cloudy skies and a low of 36 degrees. As we begin another work week, rain returns to the area with a high of 57. Chance of rain, 70%. The rain will continue into the evening with a low of 36. And as we wrap up the 5-day forecast, Tuesday will be partly cloudy with a few more showers and a high of 51. Low at night will hover around freezing. Currently it's 62 degrees here in Waynesburg. For Channel 14 Weather, I'm J.D. Leidick.
Thank you for joining us on Channel 14 News this evening.
Tune in next week for more Live at 5. Have a great weekend, everyone.